Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Office Hours with the Professor. As always, I'm your host, William the Professor Collis, and I'm super excited to do another deep dive on a news story that caught my eye this week. So, which news story did I pick? Well, it's a short one, but it's interesting. Let's dive right in. It is the Fusion Arena, which is a dedicated esports arena in Philadelphia that is currently under construction, going from being a pure esports venue to a multi-purpose venue. Now, before we explain why I wanted to cover this story, I just want to give you a little bit of background about this venue. It's being constructed at the Xfinity Live Sports Complex in Philadelphia, and it was essentially supposed to be an esports-specific venue for the Philadelphia Fusion Overwatch League team, hosting Overwatch League games and other esports events for about I think it was a 3,500 person seating capacity. And construction did start on this facility. I think in 2019, they broke ground, and it had an estimated budget of about $50 million to do the whole thing. The change, what's happening, is now this facility is going from being an esports only facility to a multi-purpose facility. It's undergoing some redesign, so now it can host things like comedy tours and concerts and all sorts of other good stuff. So, you might say, Professor, why did you want to cover this story? And the answer is because I've got a lot of questions actually about this, saying, hey, does this mean that esports only venues are dead or a thing of the past, or that esports can't sustain, pure venues by themselves? Is this a problem for the esports industry, in essence? The answer to that is unequivocally no way. This is just a good business decision, plain and simple. And so let's unpack why. So the reality is that, esports doesn't require a whole bunch of purpose-built special equipment to host events. I am vastly simplifying here, guys. I mean, obviously there are unique things you can do for an esports-only venue to make it a better esports experience. But fundamentally, if you have a fast internet connection, computers on a stage, you can host an esports event, right? Certainly it doesn't require the same amount of standardized purpose-driven infrastructure as, say, football, where you have to have so many yards and, goalposts that are so high and, all of those other things, or field goal posts, I should say. If esports doesn't require that much specialized infrastructure, why would you not want to make your retail asset or your stadium asset more flexible? It's just good, logical business sense. And not only that, this happens with traditional sports venues all the time. So I'm from Massachusetts. I've been to see both the LCS finals and a Celtics game at the TD Garden in Boston. It's not surprising. So my review of this, or my grade for this, is an A+. And the reason I give this story an A+ is this is not about esports venues being a bad idea. This is simply about venues that are flexible and being able to host different types of content, just simply being a better and more diversifiable asset, particularly in today's climate. So as I said, I love this story. I give it an A+ because now all this means is you can go see an Overwatch League game at the Fusion Arena and, say, a comedy show. And that's great. That's exactly what we want, a more sustainable business model underlying the esports industry. So again, A+. I hope you enjoyed this story, and I look forward to doing another deep dive with you next week.